Hey, everybody, welcome in. Welcome to another segment of Generational Change, and we're going to be continuing the conversation of Empowered to Change International, a day in the life. I know that last segment, I was giving you guys kind of a deep dive of what we do every single day with For the One and For the One program. And what was interesting was um, Alana, many of you know, with Soul One TV, she jumped on and was kind of asking some questions like, well, this isn't your only program. And no, it's not. And our community partners. So, you know what? I thought, well, let's just do one more segment and it may answer some of your questions about Empowered to Change International and safe housing. So, Alana, if you can hear me, you are free to just jump right in, ask questions. There you are.
Hey.
Hey,
Hello.
it's so good to do a show with you.
Yes, it
It's
is.
just
It's
like
very good.
kingdom women talking about life
hmm
and just going, all right, how are we
hmm
navigating through these interesting twists and turns that we encounter?
Yeah, and I really enjoyed your last episode. You were getting into just, your daily life, and it's a lot more than what people know or think of behind the scenes of your organization, and just how much heart and soul that you pour into people, and truly the love of God that you operate in. And it's just really phenomenal. So I do honor and appreciate you, sister.
Thank you.
Mm.
It is it and I feel like, it's so hard because people go, "Now, can you explain this to me?" And unless you actually, come in and actually kind of be a fly on the wall, it's very
Mhm.
hard to go, "Oh, wow, this is a lot." And it
Mhm.
is, and it's okay. And I can tell you the team of people, the quality level of people that I get to work
Mhm.
with at Empower to Change, I consider myself extremely blessed because we're talking about
Mm.
individuals that are professional, that many of them have their own stories of you just look at them and go, you're a walking miracle.
Mhm.
And the level of maturity and
Mhm.
professionalism and the knowledge that they have and what they bring every single day to help our people, our participants that come into these programs, it's just incredible. It
Yeah,
is
and,
just
and and having the strong foundation of a solid infrastructure is truly an answered prayer from God, because we all need that. Every single organization needs that, and apart from that, it just can't stand. So,
it's challenging, let me tell you. I always say, sometimes you just fall in the pit so many times, let's say learning and creating and working with people, that you just go, oh, we're learning. I've never created an organization from the ground up, and I can tell you, Coral, our vice president and other co-founder, she would say the same thing. She would say, yeah, it's a wild ride, but the outcome is so important. And the outcome is always for that person that is vulnerable. There's people, they didn't grow
Mhm.
up to ask to be sexually abused or trafficked
Mhm.
by their family member,
Mhm.
or drugged up when they were 10 years old, or given
Mhm.
alcohol when they were a baby, right? I mean, I can tell you,
Mm.
I'm very
Wow.
careful. I try very hard not to tell intimate stories of our people because it's not mine to tell. And at the same time, um, in my function to communicate and bring communities together and to say, listen, these are the incredible people that we serve. And we are the ones that have to come together. I
Mhm.
know that through generational change, which is our faith arm. So, yes, what you were saying, Empower to Change International is this big umbrella. right?
Mhm.
We um, we have housing programs. Uh, the people that we serve, we have programs for people that are on probation or in the
Mhm.
Department of Corrections.
Mhm.
We work with courtrooms. We work with local courtrooms. We work with federal courtrooms. We
Mhm.
work with other counseling agencies. We work with national and international agencies that rescue people
Wow.
from very scary human trafficking situations. Operation Underground Railroad. We are
Mhm.
an aftercare partner with them. Homeland Security, FBI, they've all called upon us and sent us people. We also have sister organizations. When I say that, we're not affiliated, other than we lock arms and work together in other parts of the world because
Mhm.
we need all of us. So the people that we serve are people we lock arms with. They are just as important in this fight against sex trafficking, against human trafficking, and against abuse, and recognizing that self mutilation and self medicating, committing crimes, is not the answer. That leads to more destruction. So generational change partners with the churches, okay?
Mhm.
So because sometimes people get confused about that. Generational change wants to partner with other faith communities, churches, or faith organizations that want to disciple and sponsor homes. Empowered to change, we exist empowering the broken to heal through safe housing and programs. And that is a different arm where we are serving them with safe housing, food, clothing, job readiness. We are serving the courtrooms. We are serving Department of Corrections, federal courts, and devising programs that will fit the person in front of us, if that makes sense.
You are doing such an incredible and noble work for the Lord and everything you're doing. Um, and just alone, like on your website, it says your mission is to empower the broken to heal, the voiceless to speak, and communities to unify. And quite honestly, that's where we had connected because our missions really align.
Yes.
And so I love it. Now, last episode, you were talking about the one program called For the One. And then
Mhm.
you also have, we just spoke about generational change. So, what is Operation Rebuild?
Okay, Operation Rebuild is where we partner with the Florida Department of Corrections.
Hmm.
And that is when they have somebody, a returning citizen, they've done their time, okay, in prison,
Hmm.
whatever that was, men and women, when they have fulfilled their sentence, okay,
Hmm.
let's say it could be 2 years, it could be 5 years, it could be 10, it could be 20. I think the person that we had the longest, I want to say, was 20 years.
Hmm.
So let's say, and we've heard incredible stories where young people that are tried as an adult, right? Whether they're the driver of the car and there was something horrible that happened, whether they engaged in it themselves. Listen, we are not a proponent for committing crimes. I am a conservative person personally,
Hmm.
and I do believe that real life consequences are a thing. All
Hmm.
right. But what we care about is when they have fit in Operation Rebuild, when they have finished their time, they are given a bus pass, a little bit of money, and a lot of people don't have anywhere to go. And they don't. And after 20 years, think about it. Think 20 years ago, Alana,
Hmm.
where, cell phones were completely different, um,
Hmm.
or not at all. I think we were having beepers
Yeah.
or pagers or something. But when you get out after being incarcerated that long, um, picking
Wow.
up the pieces and trying to figure out, I'm going to get a job. Like what?
Yeah.
So what we do is that we have a program specifically for them, and that could be 12 to 18 months. And what we love about the Department of Corrections in Florida is that they believe in what we do,
Mhm.
and they sponsor people if they want to come into one of our homes. And that's really just been a cohesive relationship, because all of us don't want to see recidivism. We don't want to see people back, right?
Right.
We want to reduce
Mhm.
recidivism. We don't want people to go back out, be vulnerable. I got to tell you one thing that we have found, in Operation Rebuild. The traffickers, they know when people are getting out. They have people to groom inside prison. They, like, say you've got a female that has been in jail for 10 years. You've got feelers out. The traffickers have feelers out in the prison,
What?
and they're trying to groom them so that when they get out, oh, give my friend a call. He's got a job for you. He's got you. He's got you. And then they're at the gate. The traffickers are at the gate because they have a nefarious agenda for them, and preying on the vulnerable, right?
Wow.
So
Okay.
Operation Rebuild is exactly that. We say, okay, we want to help you rebuild. Let's go. We've got MRT, which is more recognition therapy. We use group therapy, and it's
Mhm.
an evidence based therapy that actually originated in the prisons over
Mhm.
20 years ago. And we have women and men coming out of prison, returning citizens, and let's put you in an Operation Rebuild home.
Wow.
Let's start from, it could be weeks before they're ready to even think about getting a job, right? Because what I things that we don't realize is someone been incarcerated for 10 years. When I had somebody in the car, actually, I think hers was more like 15 years. She was in my car, and it freaked her out because it looked like, cars coming this way. She thought they were going to hit us. You haven't been around cars for
Wow.
15 years.
That is,
So haven't had a
mhm.
juicy cheeseburger, right? So here's the thing. We go, okay, you paid your time. You've grown, all right? And now what? Now how
Now
can we
what?
help you discover who you are? How can we give you group therapy? How can we help you in job readiness? And then by the time they graduate, have a place of your own. Figure that out. And what I didn't say in the last session is, when people, whatever program they're in, even though when they graduate, they can always reach back at us. They can always give us a call. They can always say, hey, do you know of something? I mean, we say we're always here. And now
Wow.
10 years later, it's really cool because we have a whole Empowered to Change family that,
Oh, wow.
gives us a call or sends us their pictures of their kids during Christmas. I mean, it's just things that we just never thought about.
So when exactly did Empower to Change all begin?
We
What year?
began, so the summer of 2014.
Mhm.
I just believed personally, I was in a bit of a transition. My background is criminal justice, law enforcement, communications, banking. Um, and I was just kind of in a place where it seemed like I was mentoring women all the time, calling me up. And I'd go, hey, can you meet me at Chick-fil-A? And I would just go, all right, I think that you need to look for a job. Do you need help with that? Or I think the guy you're dating is no good. Whatever that looked like. And at the same time, I met this incredible woman named Coral, and she she has her own story, and we identified just a common denominator for women that felt stuck,
Mhm.
whether they were abused, they were sexually abused, they were being trafficked, although they don't know they're being trafficked. Their
Mhm.
boyfriend is now says they were so wonderful the first year, but now they're saying, you got to help pay the bills, you know, get out there and do what you got to do. Um, and that's another show, another
Wow.
segment, but it's
Mm.
real and people don't think that that's happening. And it absolutely is. So we started at Chick-fil-A because we did not have an office. And so we just met with our laptops. We used their free Wi Fi in Seminole, Florida. And they were very kind to us. I mean, every single day from like 8 to 4, we sat at the corner booth and we just laid out the foundations for what we thought would
Wow.
be helpful for vulnerable women. So then we partnered with the local court,
Mhm.
um, at the time, drug court, and it was felony court. And at the time, that judge wanted us to open up a male house as well. They're like, we need a house for men because men are struggling too. And
Mhm.
so we did that just a few months later. And
Wow.
we just, sometimes the giants in front of us seem so great. Like for me in 2015, it was hard for people to get a job. It was hard. And I was just terrified. I was thinking, how are we going to get all these people jobs? You know? And and that's where iron sharpens iron. Coral's like, we got this. We got this. And then if she came in with something, then I would be strong in that area. And so really iron does sharpen iron. Where then we saw growth and we're like, okay, now what? And so the intellectual property and then the writing of HR practices, moving with culture over the years, and
Mhm.
then seeing the successes has been just, a joy that I didn't expect.
Well, it just started with you taking that one step of faith, and look at where the power of God's love has brought you. So where are you at? Like, how many facilities do you have now? I saw on your website you can have private tours of your facilities.
Yes.
So how many do you have now?
So we are in 4 counties.
Hmm.
So, but we have our partners and we communicate with people throughout the nation, and we have different. We partner with different ministries across the world.
Hmm.
So I always like to go with how many beds we have. Um,
Okay.
we're very careful about releasing where our houses are. We're
Right.
very
Right.
serious about that. We don't mind releasing where our home office is,
Hmm.
but we really want our program participants to know that we are not going to release where these homes
Hmm.
are. We ask them not to either, and that's a whole nother story. But um, so we have 137 beds right now in Florida. We have had inquiries from Massachusetts, from Colorado, from Georgia, and basically we just, we want to help with anybody that needs help or is interested in housing and programs. I do tell people that if they are not called for it,
Hmm.
it can be an albatross. It really can. And there's nothing glamorous. It is not. It is. There's nothing glamorous about it. Okay, it's not anything. Um, I just been introduced to so many organizations that there's some that are incredible, and then there are some that I kind of question, okay? So it's a hard field to go into, really. And I don't mind sharing what we've learned. I don't mind sharing our mistakes, and we don't have enough of us to go around. There's more broken people in our communities than there are housing and programs.
Mhm.
And so we do like to encourage people that if you want to start up, we are considering, um, packaging what we have, and if that helps people to
Mm.
get, if they say, listen, I believe we're called, but we just don't know where to start. And
Mhm.
if we can help people with the legwork and package it up
Right.
and help that way, we truly believe that empowering the broken to heal. We are not out to enable people, and that's very important. And it's important for housing organizations to really take a hard look, because it can you can stumble on that. You can put your heart and soul into it, and you can have a bleeding heart, and a bleeding heart doesn't help another individual get healed. Okay. it'll
Mhm.
it'll more than likely pull you down. So there's just so many things about it that I could
So
just talk forever.
there's such a huge need out there, Michelle. So, um, do you find that your facilities tend to stay full all the time, or what is it? Is it kind of ebb and flow, or
Yeah.
how does it
So
work?
it was ebb and flow for many years. We have been full this past year straight up.
Mm,
Um, we have a short wait list, and I think that is attributed to I the socioeconomic times we're in. Uh, in several areas in the Tampa Bay, we have some wealthy people that are getting wealthier. We have some middle class people that have all of a sudden found themselves in vulnerable situations.
mm.
Um, I say that as the truth. I think we have to look at the truth. It doesn't mean that I'm a socialist, okay? People, so anybody listening, I'm very much um, a believer that you can help somebody and give them fish, but you got to teach them how to fish.
Oh yeah.
And
Mhm.
that's vitally important. And I don't the average American, Alana, I believe that
Mhm.
they believe in that,
Mhm. Yep.
regardless of if they're conservative right or conservative left, right? Okay, I know that there's
Mhm.
extremes. I'm not talking about that. And it's interesting because Empower to Change International, on the political spectrum, we're just like, listen, we're about safe housing and programs and empower people so that they can stand tall, be self-sufficient. That helps any community.
Right.
That helps
Perfect.
any community. That helps both sides of the
Right.
spectrum, right?
Mhm.
But we are not for a hand out as much as a hand up. And when we
Mhm.
are working with the vulnerable and the broken, and if they feel out of their brokenness, they feel entitled, they feel victim, they
Right.
feel these things, then we know that they have to go into some counseling, and we have to deal with that entitlement, right?
Right.
Because none of us are entitled, right?
Mm-mm.
We all have um, we have giftings, we have the ability. In this country, they have the ability to work,
Right.
and we are a proponent for that, but we also don't have a blind eye or a deaf ear to anything, and that is especially their trauma. So it's a careful thing. And then we do outsource a lot of our any mental health physicians, doctors, anything like that. We are not doctors, we are not mental health.
Mm.
We do house a lot of people that do see mental health, but as adults, we are also teaching them how to be accountable and self-sufficient, if that makes sense.
So when they're in the facility, they are getting their basic needs met, but they're also able to get um, like medical care or and
Yes.
mental health care.
Yes. So at any time that they need medical care, they can call 911. There's hospitals here that they can walk into. There's a way in the state of Florida where they have a medical card.
Hmm.
So we teach them, this is this is your responsibility. We don't know how you feel. We're not going to dictate how you feel. Now,
Right.
certainly, anybody that's saying, I want to kill myself, or I'm cutting myself, we get them help right away. And we are not a facility that handles that kind of a level of mental health needs. We are not a lockdown facility. We're
Right.
not doctors. If they have a non-narcotic script to help them with their psych needs, that is acceptable, and we hold them accountable to what they're taking. They have to be transparent. But
Hmm.
we know who we are, we know who we're not. We're not doctors. we're not
Right.
we're not mental health physicians, but we do say, here's the number. We're not going to tell you how you feel. You are an adult. You take that. Now, if when they come in, if they are in a state of mind that we know, when we have trained people that they're screening them, and we know that they need a deeper level of care, then we will refer them out to a deeper level of care, a lockdown facility.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just I just love everything, and I'm even learning some more things about ETC along the way, even though we've known each other for a few years now.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, ETC really demonstrates love in action, the love of God really in action.
Mhm.
And my hat's off to you, sister. You're definitely out there, and you're loving the brokenhearted, the broken, the underprivileged, and it's a tough job. It's a tough job out there.
Thank you. Thank you. It's never been a dull moment, and especially, in the financial realm, as I said in the previous um, show, that we do now see that we want to invite people to join us in the fight,
Mhm.
join
Mhm.
us in the success stories. And we consider it a privilege and we call them champions of hope, because there are people out there that love what we're doing. They don't have the call to do safe housing, but they do have the finances that they can
Mhm.
say, yes, I support what you're doing.
Mhm.
We do believe in honesty and transparency, accountability. And so I think that in so many realms, even in the corporate world, you see where transparency is a must, integrity is a must. And that's uh, who we are. And that's what we are inviting listeners to come join us in that.
So if someone is listening and they're like, I really want to lock arms with Empower to Change, how can they donate to your organization?
Well, thank you. There's several ways. The easiest way probably is just to click on that QR code on your screen, and you can hit the give button, and you can give one time. You can give whatever that is on your heart on uh, a monthly basis. Every single dime goes into helping broken people in housing. You can differentiate. You can say, you know what, I want to be a part of, you know, empowering them with food. So I want my donation to go for food. And we absolutely honor that if people, delineate where they would like it to go. We've had somebody donate, sponsor a house, and that's
Wow.
huge. That is huge.
Wow.
And we even named a house after this person's loved one. and they
Oh,
had, just asked if we would be interested in thinking about doing that. And
oh,
we did. We thought that what an honor it is that somebody
mhm,
would purchase a home,
oh,
sponsor what we do, rent it, eventually rent it out after the sponsorship. I mean, it's huge. So we have done that as well. But the easiest thing is to click on the QR code. You could see our address in mail, um, any monetary donation. And if you would like to be on any newsletter, you can email me and I can put you on a newsletter list.
sounds wonderful. I love everything about ETC and all the things that the Lord is doing in and through your organization, Michelle. I'm honored to have these kind of conversations and learning more. And it's truly phenomenal when you look back and you see the timeline of how the Lord has just increased and increased
Mhm.
over the years. So
Yes,
it's wonderful.
it's a wild ride, and I don't regret any of it really. But thank you, and I love what you're doing, Alana, and I love that you are giving a platform for clean television and for
Yes.
women to come
Hmm.
on and learn different things and be transparent and share what
Yeah.
they're gifted in. I think it's just amazing what you're doing.
That's what we're here for. That's
Awesome.
what we're here for. But yeah, I'm looking forward to our next time together right here, right on Soulwind. And I believe you also have your YouTube channel for
That's right.
Generational Change, right?
Yep, generational changes here. We also have YouTube channel for Empowered to Change because they are two separate umbrellas and with two distinct functions and purposes. So be sure to tune in and click subscribe on that. And we look forward to seeing everybody next week. We will pick back up on a new series, but I thought, we had some questions about, well, who is Empowered to Change? And what exactly do you guys do? So I wanted to just address that. And I appreciate you, Alana, for coming on and just asking some of the questions that you had. I appreciate it. So we'll see everybody next week. We look forward to it. God bless and take care.
Take care. Bye.
Generational Change is the faith arm of Empowered to Change International. Imagine a world where every person has the power to rise above challenges, embrace their potential, and create a brighter future. At Empowered to Change International, we believe transformation begins with empowerment. Through education, mentorship, and community-driven initiatives, we equip individuals with the tools they need to break barriers, achieve their dreams, and impact their communities. We are more than an organization. We are a movement, one dedicated to lifting individuals, families, and entire communities. We can't do it alone. Join us in making a difference. Whether you donate, volunteer, or spread the word, your support fuels transformation. Together, we are empowered to change.